Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to take the next step with our LangGraph workflows by connecting them to the real world using FastAPI to expose them as API endpoints. This means your frontend or any external service can communicate with your AI workflows in a structured and scalable way, making it much easier to build full-stack generative or agentic AI applications. Today, we'll create a simple API endpoint using FastAPI built on top of the LangGraph workflow we implemented in the previous video, so I highly recommend you to watch that before coming here. And now let's get started. So let's start by answering the big question, that is, why not just use LangGraph Studio's API that is exposed for you when you run LangGraph CLI? So this is a very great question and I totally get the temptation, but here's the thing. LangGraph Studio is awesome for development, visualization, debugging, interaction, and prototyping. It's like your playground where you can visually build and test your graph, but for production, it's a big no. When you need control, flexibility, security, and something you can deploy on your own infrastructure, you should always consider a custom backend. Now let's quickly talk about the two main dependencies that we'll be using today. So first is FastAPI, which is a lightweight Python framework for building APIs. It is fast, easy to use, and great for AI workflows thanks to its support for async and type-ins. Second is Uvicorn, which is the ASGI server that runs your FastAPI app. It's super fast and built for modern async apps. Think of them as the perfect duo for building and serving APIs efficiently. Now, enough talking and let's dive into some code. Alright, so we start by creating a new Python file named app. Next, we add our dependencies using UV, which are FastAPI and Uvicorn. Go to FastAPI's official documentation and scroll down to reveal the code under the examples tab, which will serve as a great starting point for our application. Now to see our backend in action, go to your terminal and type in Uvicorn app, followed by the reload flag set to true. This tells our Uvicorn engine as to where our app is actually located, and the reload flag set to true automatically restarts the server for us if we make any changes in the app file. If we go to this link, we can see the output from the /get route on the browser. Now, if you append /docs in front of it, you can see all your API routes being documented for you in a very nice and interactive interface by FastAPI itself. This is done with the help of OpenAPI and Swagger UI, which works under the hood when you run your backend server. And now, it's time for us to build a post route for our existing LangGraph workflow. We start by importing field and base model from Pydantic, and from the previous video, we know that we had exported our graph in the main.py file, so let's import our graph from there. It's time to build a request model for the API endpoint, so we begin by creating a Python class and passing in our base model. Our schema has one field by the name of topic, which takes in a string value. Now, using the decoration function, we create a new post request under the name of chat, and then we move on to describe its logic. This function expects an input of type API input, and then we will invoke a graph on the same input. Finally, we return the response by running the graph. Again, to see this in action, reload the browser and investigate your post request under the chat route. You can interact with the same by passing in valid values and hitting the execute button. Now, you can see that we get the response back from a graph, which resembles the output from the previous video as well. Furthermore, you can use this API URL and create a post request from either your frontend or Postman. That is it for today. If this helped, drop a like and subscribe. And if you're building something cool or stuck somewhere, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.